I read like the first half of it, and then I just stopped, and I kind of like wanted to revisit it.
Yeah.
But
it's kind of the vibe. Guys, I just pressed record because what we were talking about was really good. But welcome to Word of Mouth. We're here live with the one and only like mascot of Birmingham, Alabama these days.
Is that what people were saying?
Dylane Hurd.
Something like.
That's kind of sick. Your last name's Hurd.
Yeah.
You're like born to just be a part of something.
Yeah. Shout out my dad.
Shout out your dad.
Yeah. His ancestors.
Wonder where that name came from. You ever think about that? Like names came from like one day.
Yeah.
Nobody had last names, and then the next day somebody was like, "We got to figure out last names." It's kind of crazy.
Wait, wasn't it? I have no clue if this is like valid or not. This is like a thought that came in my head. I've heard that back when people like used to live in like villages or like small communes, your last name is based on like your trade. So like if you're like a blacksmith, your last name's Smith. And then like it just kind of. I don't know if that's true.
I don't know how Peacock got in my last name then.
You're a peacock farmer.
I'm reincarnated. Oh my gosh.
That is crazy though that
is true.
I think I've also heard at that time you kind of just chose your surname. So
there had to be a little bit of both.
Yeah.
It probably depended on the town. It's not like the whole freaking world was just like there was like this United Nations front. Like that's never been. I've had some places where this and some places where that.
I think some of it came from maybe they were trying to shorten how to say like what clan or lineage you came from instead of saying like Stephen, son of Shane Peacock, son of I don't know what Shane's dad's name was, but
Randall.
Yeah.
Johnny Randall.
Instead of some long iterated son of
Peacock.
You just say Stephen Peacock.
Peacock.
Like, he's from the Peacock clan.
I learned that there was a Welsh clan, the Pinnock clan.
Sure.
Don't know what that word means, but that word means something in Welsh. And peacock is a derivative of that. It's very interesting. Also, peacock bass. It's not because they do look like peacocks, but peacock means it's like it was prone to be eaten by a bird. That's why peacock bass are called peacock, because you can see them from outside of the water, which I think is so interesting. Anyways, last names. Before that, we were talking about Dylane and him kind of like his creative process and stuff, because he was saying that he's working on a project that he might or might not share depending on his vibes. Was the vibes that I was getting. And we were talking about Rick Rubin again, which we talked about during McCall's episode, and I think we again talked about it with Chloe's episode as well. Yeah. So I've been thinking about Rick Rubin a lot. I have never read this book, but every once in a while it's very beautiful. I see it in like bookstores, always on the front table.
Little Professor has that thing.
If you don't know what it is, it's the gray book with the little black target thing in it. You've all seen it. Now you're probably, if you haven't seen it, you're probably gonna start seeing it.
It's called The Creative Act.
It's an unbelievably good book.
But says the man who's never read it.
Says the man who's never read it. But I pick it up every time I'm in those, and I'm just like, when I'm with people, I'm like, y'all want to hear the best thing y'all are gonna hear all day? Or if I'm by myself, I'm like, I'm ready to hear the best thing I'm gonna hear all day, you know, or read all day, and like whatever. And I pick it up, and it's every single time without fail. He makes me think. And I every once in a while I do kind of dives on him. And this past week I learned about a website he has called Tetragrammaton or something like that. Do you know about this?
Well, I listened to the podcast some.
Okay. Is that what the name of the podcast is?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. It's Tetra something.
Tetragrammagram.
Yeah.
Tetragrammagram.
Yeah.
Wish we could
that's
actually
it.
plug it. But.
I don't remember when I first listened to it, but they had. Do you remember Tyler Cowden? He's like an economist that Dr. Carden, because we're both econ.
Yes. Yeah.
I just like remember.
You're an econ major, Dylane?
Yeah. Well, I still don't have my. Yeah. I have 2 like electives I have to take online, so I feel like weird saying that I am, but I tell everybody I'm graduated.
Oh wow.
Yeah, this is probably I'm kind of doxing myself. That doesn't make any sense.
Degree soon come.
Your degree doxing yourself up in your actual stage of life. You're caught.
Exactly. This is my digital footprint. Yeah. Anyway, Tyler Cowden was on an episode with Rick Rubin, and I just saw like Rick Rubin plug the episode one day, and I was just like, that's such a weird combo.
Yeah, I don't know if I've seen that.
Yeah,
I've seen him interview like
freaking love that thing, Mars.
I would.
Mars gonna listen to that tomorrow. I guarantee you.
Literally.
Come on.
I've seen him interview like Biba Doobie.
Doobie?
Yeah, and he's done some with some like rappers.
Kendrick Lamar.
The GQ interview. That
legendary video.
Nice.
I'm not gonna lie.
But yeah, like I feel like he normally interviews creatives, and then whenever I saw Tyler Cowden on there, I was like, what the heck?
Yeah.
And
Crazy
it was interesting.
crossover.
He was kind of just like flexing all the books he's read, but then they were also like they were talking about other things. I don't know. It was like
So like what we're doing right now about Rick Rubin's
exactly.
book.
Yeah, it's kind of meta. Yeah, we should be on Tetra.
Yeah.
Tetra.
Dude, I was like blown away. It's this website that, and this is such a Rick Rubin way of explaining it, but he was just like textures and substances to consider and provoke thoughtfulness. I think was literally the explanation of the website, or the description, I guess. And it was, I mean, I personally love ambient music, and I love, little mood board photos or whatever. So it really inspired me. But anyways, the reason I'm talking about him is because, like, you were talking about how this new project is not necessarily what you've ever done before. And I always think it's so interesting, like the thief of joy that, like, when you begin considering, well, this project is like awesome, but what if it's not accepted? Or like, what if it's not praised?
Yeah.
Or what if people don't understand? And you were like, you said something along the lines of like, I don't know what it's going to be like when it's out in the world, but I'm going to love it because whatever. You know? And I think that's so true. I think that's like the coolest thing. Like I'm doing a very different form of that. I'm getting to do a little talk at college ministry tomorrow night. And as I'm writing it, I'm like, am I being faithful to what has been put before me? And that's my only metric.
Yeah.
If I have any other metric, then the room's too crowded. Like you got to get out of the room.
Dang.
You know what I mean?
That's a bar right there.
Dylane, do you want to introduce yourself to our listeners?
Who are you?
Yeah. My name's Dylane Hurd. I always forget what to say after this because I'm not in college anymore. I can't be like, my degree is this.
I'm a senior at
From Birmingham, still in Birmingham.
Yeah, I'm a first-year adult from Birmingham.
Come on.
Still live in Birmingham. Make videos on Instagram sometimes, or soon to be YouTube. I had a strawberry cheesecake chobani before I came here.
Dude, I had that for the first time last week, a strawberry cheesecake chobani.
Yeah.
That thing is freaking good. Did you have it in the Danimal form or in like the bowl form?
The flip. Like it's like where you have like all the toppings on one side, you flip it over. Dude, it's kind of crazy. I go to Sam's Club. This might be a tangent that's not needed at all.
I love it.
But I go to Sam's Club like every week, and
that's actually freaking weird.
Wow.
I'm not gonna lie. And weird by the the literal definition of weird is that is very uncommon to go to Sam's Club every week.
Yeah, I'm like I have like my set like 5 things I get every week, and I like interchange the two because since you're buying things in bulk, it normally lasts you longer than a week. So I would say like bi-weekly I buy the Chobani like 15 pack for like $10 at Sam's Club, and it has cookies and cream, s'mores, and I forgot the other one, but it's good. It's like a chocolate one, a cookie dough. And then they have strawberry cheesecake, and I rarely ever eat the strawberry.
There's a printer
that's really humming right now.
Sorry if anyone can hear that.
Maybe it's trying to cut off this dumb story. But
It'd also be funny if we're all distracted and no one can actually hear it, and so we're all just like looking over here.
Should we put a mic up to the printer?
I still don't think we can hear it. Anyways, the Holy Spirit just turned on the. Oh, there it goes. The Holy Spirit's gone now.
Yeah.
Okay, so you go to Sam's Club and you get these freaking good Chobani flavors.
But I normally like don't eat the strawberry cheesecake because I like all the other ones, and like they go bad by the time I get to the strawberry cheesecake. But today I had like one left, and I ate it on the way here, and it was really good. And I don't know why I saved that one. So that's the story.
Dude, what are your items you get? You said 5 items.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, I try to.
Can I guess actually?
Yeah, I guess.
Chicken breast? No.
Oh wait, should I tell you as you're listing them out?
Yeah.
Okay, no.
Dang gummit. Ground beef?
No.
Is there a protein?
I'm not a cook, so
Okay.
I feel like I used to cook a good bit, but like right now, I'm not.
Okay.
So you gotta think
rotisserie chicken.
Think like air fried foods.
Oh
Okay.
gosh. Just freaking sweet potatoes or something. I don't know what
Corn dogs.
Like you could put in like a
French
freezer pizza,
fries.
like freezer Red Baron.
I used to get some red. No, it was like a DiGiorno. They had a 3-pack for $15 at Sam's, and they were really good. I don't get it anymore though.
That's like $5 a pizza.
Yeah, that's some quick math right there. Dang.
Whoa.
No, I normally get so I get like those perfect peanut butter protein bars, whatever.
Oh yeah.
Eat
So
those
you
like
can
there's no tomorrow.
Yeah, dude, 18 for $11 at Sam's Club.
That's actually an unreal deal.
It's insane.
That's better than Costco.
Yeah.
Dare I say?
Whoa.
Yeah, dang.
The perfect bars are one of your 5.
Perfect bars. They have this like stuffed salmon that's pre-made.
Oh.
It like I don't know. It kind of grossed me out when I first saw it, but I was like, I'm just gonna take a risk, and I've been getting it every single week.
Wow.
It's 4 like salmon fillets stuffed with stuff. I don't know what's like in it.
Stuff with stuff.
Stuff with stuff. Yeah, and then you like bake it for 24 minutes, and then I just like eat one per meal. And then they have a pre-made meal section where they have like enchiladas.
Yeah.
It's all so good. I've been getting like the white chicken chili enchiladas and then just baking it and then eating off of it for like a week.
That sounds unreal.
Yeah.
You still live in the basement?
Yeah, the garage. Yeah.
Let's freaking go.
I love I wish I had pictures of it. I want to show y'all it. I like recently built a shelf by my desk, and it just like brings everything together. Like it looks so bummy, and it probably still looks a little bit bummy, but just like having all my books on the shelf, it just looks.
It's just a vibe.
It looks like it's intentional, like it's an actual room.
Wow.
So
That's awesome. For context, Dylane lives in a house full of. I honestly talk about this with Cole sometimes. Y'all to have like literally. I mean, I guess y'all have it in common that like Davis kind of went to high school with y'all.
Yeah.
And then did you and Cole like graduate the same year? Like y'all were together.
Y'all were buddies.
We're buddies.
Okay,
yeah.
so you and Cole are buddies. But like for y'all seemingly to operate in opposite corners of Birmingham, like all of y'all.
Yeah.
It's crazy how awesome of a house y'all live in. Like
Yeah.
I love all your roommates.
Yeah, no, I'm very thankful. I think it's like one of those things you don't realize how like good you have it until you like. Not that everybody like I don't know everyone else's living situation, but it just seems like more rare than I thought it was. Like we've lived together for the past 3 years. Cole and I shared a room for 2 years, and like there really hasn't been any issues. Like
Yeah.
we play
crazy.
Fortnite together every night.
All the time.
Come on.
Too much
Yeah.
Fortnite.
Is that what's in right now? Is Rocket League? Is it gonna make a comeback?
I don't know. I have to kind of take a step back. I've had like a lot of downtime lately. Just like the winter is a lot slower for like I freelance as well as make my own stuff, but I get paid for freelancing. But it's slow right now, so like I've found myself just filling time with Fortnite, and I'm not good at it. But like I think I have to like kind of take a break because it's becoming like a low key an addiction. So
It'll do that.
yeah,
I kind of love that though. I've never been a gamer. I talk about it to people all the time. I've never been on the sticks, but I'm a fan. I like FIFA. Me and my roommates played FIFA a lot, but I never played any video games or anything like that. But anyways, for the context is your roommates are cool, but you moved out of a typical bedroom, and you moved into the basement, of your house. I just think that's fascinating.
Yeah, it was. So like I lived in my garage.
Yeah, the garage. Sorry, the garage.
The garage.
not the basement.
Yeah.
I keep trying to like breathe more life into it, but it's straight up a garage.
A car should be there, not even. But yeah, I lived in my garage at my parents' house for like 6 months. Long story short, I was at Sanford for 1 year, shared a room with Cole, and like Sanford was way too expensive, and I'm like, I live like 20 minutes from here, so I'm gonna move back home second semester.
Yep.
But my family grew while I was in college because my parents adopted 3 younger kids, my younger siblings, and so I was gonna have to share a room with my younger brother, which like isn't the end of the world, but I was just like, I want my own space, and so like I put a futon in the garage and a desk,
That's cragy,
and a TV, and like lived in there for 6
That's
months.
Funny.
Like had a fan and a heater, and I was like, I did it once, I guess I can do it again.
Yeah.
And Cole's awesome. It was great sharing a room, but I would like edit late some nights, and I moved my desk to the garage just so like I wouldn't keep him up.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's kind of nice in here, and it's like insulated on one side, so
good enough.
Yeah, good enough.
Live in there.
It'll do.
Yeah, it'll do. It has 4 walls and a roof, and it has like a bunch of outlets. So I think it's the best room in the house. I don't know if my roommates would agree on that. I think they would, but
it's kind of crazy. It's pretty like underused. I think that you saw that in it for sure. I mean, it's a massive space.
It's huge.
And upstairs is like a lot going on. Downstairs, nothing.
Nothing, yeah. Well, I used to have a pressure washing, like small like pressure washing business, and I had a trailer and like an SUV, and those were in there before. But then I like sold that to like buy camera stuff, and it was just completely empty. So
I kind of wanted to ask you about that. So you've kind of gone on a bit of an entrepreneurial journey.
Yeah.
Was pressure washing the first thing?
No, actually, car detailing was.
Okay.
But like, I feel like I bought a pressure washer to car detail, and so like one thing led to another. But, yeah, it was like during COVID. I used to work at Chick-fil-A, Greystone Chick-fil-A. If anyone's been, it's like every other Chick-fil-A.
Shout out Greystone Chick-fil-A.
Shout out Greystone, yeah, all my homies. I don't know if anyone is there that I used to work with, but anyway, in 2020, like my hours got cut in half because COVID. And I was like living at home. This is like right out of high school, obviously. And I needed to make money, and so I just started posting on Facebook like, I'll clean your car for like $75, and I started like making money that way. And I needed a pressure washer to clean people's cars, so I bought one, and then like I cleaned our driveway with it. I'm like, oh, like you can make money doing this. And I don't know, like with cars, you just never know what to expect. Like you never know how dirty someone's car is going to be, so I can't I try to like offer a flat rate of like $100 per row. So like if it's like a coupe, 100, sedan 200, minivan or whatever 300. But like you can't like say if you have a really dirty minivan, then it's like 350 because like no one's gonna. I don't know. Yeah, you can't really like
hard to price
because
a really dirty minivan is going to take you hours, whereas like grandma's convertible might not take you that long, but then you're trying to charge a comparable rate
for sure. Yeah, and so I was just like, you know what? Every driveway looks about the same when it's dirty, and so I just started like pressure washing, and I did that up until junior year of college, right before I started freelancing. Called it Kazam Pressure Washing. Made like a little small business out of it.
Come on.
It was fun. I actually started making videos on TikTok of pressure washing. I would get my tripod on my like phone, set it up, and do time lapses.
Yeah.
Dude, I freaking eat those videos up every time I see them.
Have y'all seen the videos of the guy who will go and like cut people's yards?
Yes. I watched one of those this morning.
That dude destroys.
Yeah,
he gets so many views.
SB mowing.
Yeah.
I actually copied one of his videos like when I first started making Instagram reels where I like did the same thing for pressure washing.
Yeah.
But like I had people just donate to me instead of doing it for free.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I like literally this morning on my like daily scroll, I like watched his video and it was like 5 minutes long on Instagram. Yeah. Didn't know you could do that, but yeah.
That's kind of sick. I've never thought about that. Like there's all these kids trying to work in college ministry, and there's all these kids raising money for mission trips. I've never thought about telling guys to do that. Go house to house, tell them you cut their yard, do their landscaping, get everything shaped up for them. Just give them the QR code.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I've never thought about that.
Yeah.
That's kind of smart. I wish I would have thought about that whenever I was in, like, because you're done it. If you give them a cause, that'll give them a heart.
Yeah.
Give somebody a cause, it'll give them a heart.
Yeah.
Dude, that's kind of crazy. So you, like, why did you, I don't know, like, why was stimulus money not, like, why did you want to do something?
I can't remember what I was like. I don't know.
Did you get stimulus money when you were that young? Like, I don't know how that was in high school.
I can't remember. I think I was a dependent, and so I think my parents just got the stimulus money.
Oh, okay.
I don't really remember why. I try to because I was working like a good bit during COVID, and I feel like there wasn't anything I was having to pay for. I think I don't know. I just my parents had that expectation that like I would be paying for college like after I graduate, just because like there were plenty of in-state options, but I really just wanted to go to Stanford. And so they're like, hey, you can do that. It's just like, we won't be able to help financially. And I was like, oh, it doesn't matter. I'll figure it out. Still figuring it out as we're speaking, but, yeah, I think maybe that was part of it. It's just like saving up for school. I can't remember like what my initial like reason for doing it was besides making bread, but
yeah, that's cool. I think that's so interesting. Like I'm kind of like understanding. So you had a huge financial goal in front of you of like paying for Stanford, which is like, that's kind of like freaking right on to that. I would have been terrified of that. So the fact that you saw that head on still in is really cool.
I think I was just delusional, but yeah, I appreciate it.
Yeah. It's like, it's so cool to hear how like entrepreneurial people, which I definitely would like coin you as a entrepreneur, like personality. and how they start their kind of journeys into that. And to hear that you were a 16-year-old kid and you weren't just like, oh, I'm going to try and figure out how to get stimulus somehow. Or you were like, I'm going to go buy a pressure washer. That's freaking cool. That not many people do that these days. I'm curious, like, talk to me about entering into photography.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, selling pressure washing to do photography is like, can be viewed by a lot of people as a bad investment.
Yeah.
You know?
There's not a direct through line.
Yeah.
Even though my best friend from high school did do pressure washing and then full-time videography, it's not a common.
Yeah, it's not common.
Even though I know 2 people who've done that, it's not a common path.
Yeah, like everybody has a driveway, but not everybody has a need for a video.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's true.
It's
That's
kind of the same
true.
thing. Well, I mean, everybody does. You just gotta help. Never mind. I'm gonna let you talk about this. No, but help me, like, or help us understand, like, what made you want to get into, like, videography, photography, and why do you like it so much?
Yeah, that's a great question. I don't know. I always loved video and photo. Like, just growing up, I can't remember where it started, but I went to Brook Hills, just on down 280. But I was on like their like production team or whatever for like mainly for like audio stuff for the bands, but also like would help with like video projects and I think there were a few photo projects. I can't really remember, but I remember whenever 2015 not hit, but like Casey Neistat started dropping his vlogs, and I was like, oh, I want to be him one day.
That's sick.
And I like visited New York right around that time with my family for the first time, and I bought a Canon T5i or some whatever, and brought that there. I made a little video, like a little vlog while we were there. I think it might be on my YouTube channel. So there's a shameless plug. It probably won't be up there for much longer, but maybe I'll keep it. I don't know.
Get it while you can.
Yeah, it was like copyrighted for a few years, and I think as of like a few months ago, it just popped back up on my feed.
Wow.
So there's that. But like I would just make things for fun, and like really didn't have a goal of making money with it or posting it anywhere. I just did it for the sake of doing it. And then I remember this was the summer going into my junior year of school. I was trying to get a data analytics internship with a local company, and I thought I had it for like 6 months straight. Like I was talking to their my supervisor that would be there. Yeah. And like we're talking about like the onboarding process and all this and that. And I don't know, I just assumed for 6 months straight that I had this internship. And literally like the week before summer was gonna start, I think this is my sophomore year going into my junior year. Or I think, I can't really remember. But I pretty much get an email from a new supervisor, and he's like, hey Dylane, like would you be willing to come in for an interview on this day? And I was like, oh yeah, like I just thought I already had the job because we already did like a Zoom interview before. I go in, interview, thought it went great, and then like they emailed me a few days later and like, hey, we decided to go with a different candidate, like thank you for your interest. And I was like, oh dang, that kind of sucks. Yeah. And then
that's a bummer.
Yeah, at the time I was working at a nonprofit in the Gate City community, which is like near East Lake. It's called Oak Tree. I was working there part-time, and I was planning on working both, but I decided to like work there full-time over the summer. And I was like, you know what, I have this extra time that would be towards internship. Like I'm just going to try to make videos because I've always wanted to do it. And I tried to like my goal was to make one video every day for that entire summer. And I ended up like doing like 28 days consecutively. It was way harder than I thought, but
that's still a lot.
Yeah. And that's kind of like where like everything started, like with me posting at least consistently on Instagram. It was really just like me just bringing my phone to work or wherever I was going and like making like a small little story of it. And then it kind of evolved into its own thing, and I'm still trying to figure it all out because I just didn't really plan on doing this after college. Very grateful for it, but it just like kind of happened out of nowhere.
It's cool.
Yeah.
It's kind of nuts, man. Like there's this YouTube golfer that I like. His name's Garrett Clark.
Yeah. Is he the random? Oh, no. Good. Yeah. I was about to say, I know Cole watches him.
And he had this thing whenever he started, and he made a video like every day for the entire summer. Like that was like how he started. He's playing college golf, and I don't remember if he like was a sophomore or he graduated or something, but he was like, I want to do this whole YouTube golf thing. It was before anybody ever, he just really liked videos. And anyways, I think it's fascinating, like making a video every day, all summer of golfing, like not short form. Like these videos, like golf videos are like 60 minutes long.
Oh, wow.
and he's putting in these like videos of all these like challenges, and so he would go play, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and he'd film all day for 3 straight days, and then he would just edit like a video out those nights, and then he would edit out like other videos on the days that he didn't play, and just like the exhaustion that it took. But he literally went from like, I think that summer, I was listening to his podcast where he was talking about it, and I think that summer he got like 220,000 in his first summer of being on YouTube or something like that, which is just freaking nuts.
Yeah.
That like, but also is a niche that like literally didn't exist, and it's turned out to be like a freaking massively famous and popular thing. But it's wild how, at least from my understanding, he was like the first one to do it. So, but there's something about the algorithm, the big fat scary monster that likes consistency.
Yeah.
That is this like horribly, like, it's like this horrible thing because like you have to kind of sell your soul to it to a certain extent. But it'll give you life in return. It's like, I feel like good like videos will come out. Like good videos can't come out every single day. I feel like quality diminishes to a certain extent. Yeah. If you with quantity, and especially when it comes to like filming. I would assume that would happen with filmmaking. So I don't know. I think it's so interesting. But even like on Instagram Reels, like on short form, you have to post. I think it's like on TikTok, you have to post like 3 times a day in order to. So it's like the same kind of thing. Yeah. YouTube, it's every single day. TikTok, it's 3 times a day in order to do it. And it just like you end up editing for 90% of your life, in order to make it as like a personality in the world, which is just kind of nuts to me that dudes will literally pay people to edit for them. Yeah. And they'll just take videos of themselves all day, ship it, or like Dropbox it to somebody else. And they just pay that person $90,000 a year. And that person just every single day, they're 9 to 5. He's like editing videos about this random girl's life in California. Yeah. That's just freaking crazy to me that happens. And then like these girls that Gracie will watch will literally talk to the editors like when they're filming themselves. Yeah. Like walking around New York or whatever. They'll be like, oh, Emily, like you can cut this, Emily. While they're walking around, it's like this weird
like talking to the camera so they can retrospect
talking to the camera, knowing that the editor will like that editor's life is just so like that feels like, so dystopian.
It's like when we talk to Miles, who's editing this.
Yeah. Miles, thanks, man.
Don't cut this, Miles.
Yeah, that's what we're calling. Are you referring to Miles Cheatham or our previous guest or you?
Me.
Oh, you're in third person?
Yeah.
I literally thought y'all had an editor.
I thought we had made that joke before.
Oh, man.
That my alter ego of editor is Miles.
That makes so much sense now. Yeah. Oh, my gosh.
What is your perception of the rat race of social media?
Dang. Then now we're cutting deep here. Like specifically just having to put out volume.
As someone who is contributing as a creator.
Dude, I have so much to... I don't know. I can get pretty cynical pretty quick about like the algorithm or all this other stuff. For one, I just think it's such a cool time that we live in which like you can have a career just telling stories. And I think it's like I think sometimes because of like all the fast-paced changes to like the algorithm or like the incentives that these platforms give, it's easy to get like, I don't know, cynical about social media as a whole, but like it is really crazy that we live in a time in which like anyone can like broadcast themselves or like tell a story. So like I'm very grateful that it exists. Oh gosh, I don't know. I don't know. There's so much there. What about you? Yeah, like let's open up the can of worms a little bit. I'm like I have a hard time figuring out where to start.
It's a challenge because like I have a full-time job, Steven has a full-time job. Yeah. So we don't want to sacrifice everything to make this be the living because I don't really think that's the goal. Like if we made a living from this, it would have to kind of happen naturally on its own. We're not going to like I'm an extreme person. Like if I wanted this to be my living, then I would be willing to like quit my job and spend 40 hours a week on this and like make it be.
For sure.
But So as like a hobbyist, it's like you do want to make it better every single time. So I try and find unique ways to like make our brand more buttoned up, or like make videos and shorts that are more enticing to some extent.
For sure.
It's like you kind of want to draw people in. It's also like podcasts are different than maybe telling stories in short form videos, but you know, we're trying to sell a really expensive product in the attention market, which is an 1.5 hour long podcast. So you have to find a way to like make short form content that tells the story of the long form thing, but in a way that doesn't like spoil the long form thing. Like you don't just want to cut up the 1 or 2 good clips and then put that out there, and then there's no point in listening to the rest of the podcast, which is part of why we started doing like the clips I was talking to you about, where you kind of cut just a couple of the good questions and things like that, but you don't give the answers or whatever it is. So I don't know. I think I definitely think it's a skill to capture attention. I think also you want to make sure that you are capturing the attention to sell a product that's worth people's time, even if it's just like a genuine conversation is what you're selling, which is kind of what we're selling in a way. I don't think it's all bad, but I do think any system can be gamed. And there are bad actors out there who game the system to you know, waste people's time and dumb people down. Like that does exist.
I think something too, like we were talking about how like it is like a hobby now, like it's not your full-time job. I think there's something like, so like you can almost kind of protect what you make because it's not your full-time job. I don't know, like at least that's where I'm at right now. Like I've had like 1 or 2 sponsored videos, but like for the most part, I'm not planning on monetizing I can't monetize my platform right now, but 2, like there's been a few people that have come to me saying like, hey, you should try to monetize it with like your following or whatever. But I don't know. I've just seen a lot of creators that like I look up to and respect that have gone full time with creation, and because the incentives are so stacked to like pretty much just be a billboard for like whoever you can. Not saying that's everyone, but like you almost have like a need to play the game, and like I don't know, like I really want to, I keep saying I don't know, there's just a lot of thoughts going on, but
you don't want to go out there and, you know, try and create stories and do things that you want to do and then have to like plug Raid Shadow Legends.
Yeah, for sure. Because Raid could be cool, but
you don't play Raid Shadow Legends. You don't want to be a human billboard in that sense.
Yeah, and I think like if you get caught up in the flow of doing so, like it's harder to protect like the stories that actually do matter to you. Like they've kind of become convoluted with, you know, those ads. But I don't know. Like I haven't had that experience before, so I can't. It's easy to say that looking from the outside, but I don't know. I would love to figure out a way in which like I can help other people tell their stories through freelance, and that gives me complete creative control for whatever stories I want to tell or videos I want to make. Rather than like relying on it like a live stream, just because I mean the algorithm is so volatile. Human attention is very volatile too, and so but I don't know, it's still
Do you think like this is one thing that I was talking about in a much different form with Sam Eddins this morning.
Oh, shout out Sam,
fellow Westminsterans.
Go Knights.
And
I probably should do that.
But no, I think it's so interesting how, like, I don't know if this is going to make any sense, but I feel like a lot of people go into business for the payout, for the money. Like, that's a lot of the motive. Like, I don't think many people are going into business, or the majority of people that are going into businesses, they're motivated in some way by monetary gain, or that there's money in the business or whatever. And then if you go into another industry that is considered more like cool and less like you're just doing it for the money. Like, think you open up a cafe.
Yeah.
Opening up a cafe is like the most aesthetic job. You are capping how much money you can make in a year if you only own one cafe. But then as soon as you start, like, you can make more money owning cafes if you like franchise them. But once you start franchising cafes, then your job just ends up becoming like the business job that you wouldn't have had otherwise, you know? So I think there's like this interesting difference in like relationship in this. And I don't know if this, like, I'm trying to like understand how this would apply to videography or like creativity, like it through the film space, whatever you want to call your space. Because I think to a certain extent, if you were to like algorithm pop off, which like if you do rock and roll, I want you to like do what you feel. But like if you were to algorithm like work the game or play the game, you essentially would just be, you know, only in the videos like creating to a certain to a very limited amount of time. And then you would just essentially be signing up to edit. Yeah. Like I'm thinking like Casey Neistat's job. I don't know what I'm not nearly as big of a fan of him as I imagine you are. But his videos now, I imagine he like loves making ever since he's come back from like the daily vlog thing. Because the daily vlog thing, he just seemed like it just like exhausted the heck out of him. And it's kind of like what Emma Chamberlain is going through right now as she's like stopped her weekly or daily vlogs or whatever she did. And now she's like trying to like re-understand like what exactly it's all for in the first place. And they're both coming out making much more what I can understand is like natural like outflows of like who they are. Like the Do Something Hard video that Casey Neistat came out with. From my understanding, I don't think there was a single ad. Maybe the ASICs were an ad actually.
Was it the marathon?
The marathon video.
Yeah, I think
he was
it had like
sponsored by the
Brooks.
shoes.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe that's it. So I guess that would be the dream is like you can get a sponsored video where the whole video doesn't have to be like just about Brooks gel maxes or whatever they're called.
There's like this one guy, by far my favorite YouTuber, creator, filmmaker, whatever the name is now. His name is Schaefer Nickel. He's based out of Gunnison, Colorado. I don't know if you guys are familiar. It's like kind of like it's not a middle of nowhere town. It's like a big like ski town, but I think it has like 10,000 people. So, I mean, it's not big, but this guy is insanely talented.
What did you say his name was?
Schaefer Nickel. Dude, I think if there's anyone that's at the forefront of like understanding how to like be a human in this space of like algorithmic whatever, like it's this guy. And like he's just the type of filmmaker that could easily play the game and have like millions of subscribers, but like he chooses to like live this life like in this middle of nowhere town, making these like very intimate raw YouTube videos that are just not going to perform algorithmically, but like he could do it. But he has like a membership on the channel where I think he has like 100 members that all pay like $5 a month, and he also gets sponsored by like MusicBed and like a few other companies, but like he will specifically make videos in which like he provides value to his audience, but like they're for these sponsorship deals. They're to sustain his like larger creative endeavors. And so like he recently made this video called The American Stanza, which is like a 20-minute long short film that was all shot on like 16mm film, which is so expensive, like thousands of dollars worth of like film and development. But he did this with no ads, like no other incentive other than just like making the video itself. And I don't know, I just think he has a very like nuanced view on like how to like maintain your soul in this space and like also create like really compelling work, because the reality is like you have to make money, like like you just do, but there's a way in which you can do it that like preserves like who you are and like preserves your work. Like you can work towards something and like save up money to, I don't know, make a video that's not tied to, you know, capitalist endeavors or like paying the bills.
Sure.
And I just think he does a really good job of that. And I don't know, like over the past few months, like he's been like my main dude I've been watching just to like, I don't know. Yeah.
That's so cool. Okay. Next question for you. In a world of just like, I don't know if you ever feel this way, but the oversaturation, like overstimulation of oversaturation, I feel like every single day. Me and Mars have talked about this a lot, but I took a good bit of time off of Instagram this past year, like, I don't know, 6 or 8 months or something like that. and I just got back on like a month ago because I have this like endeavor that I want to do where I want to build this kind of like I want to build I don't know how to explain this because there's multifacets to it. I want to build a like box with wheels, and on the box there will be a built-in DJing like what place where I can spin vinyl live somewhere with speakers built into the front of the box.
It's like a DJ to go type cart.
And then an espresso setup on the right side, so I can take this box anywhere and set up like a park, a wedding, anywhere. I think it would be like so fun. So you go and you set up music and coffee, whatever, bang. Me and
Cafe
Myers,
to go.
Cafe to go, yeah.
And then I love this idea of like giving things like personalities or names. Like I love that like Cafe Elliot. Like I love that Elijah, my friend who opened up a cafe in Cincinnati, I love that he named it, and he's like, Elliot is a person with a personality. Like I think that's like so cool. So anyways, that like Nan, like when we had McCall on the other day, or anyways, I think we could go on. But I think it's like really cool to consider Instagram as a space as like a necessary evil, and with the end goal of like some sort of good, right? So anyways, that was why I got back on, was like I wanted to get on because for whatever reason in the world that we're in right now, people look at it every single day. And if we can get people to stop, like to get off of it, then I think, like, if the content that you're putting on it helps people get off of it, if that makes any sense. So, like, you put out a video, you make people think, like, your video about Birmingham, it makes me want to go interact with Birmingham, not stay on my phone.
For sure.
Or, like, if I were to make like the reason I got back on Instagram is because I want to, like, film me building this thing and then, like, popping up, and it's, like, going to be a kind of like a plot that you can follow if you want. And in that, like, if I can get people to get off Instagram and come socialize in a physical, tangible space, and like I'm doing good for the world. So me and Myers at our like top of the year kind of like vision casting word of mouth meeting at Lady Bird. Shout out Lady Bird.
Shout out Lady Bird.
We were like, how do we make this? Because we really crave this like physical space, this like tactile, like you can touch it space. Where you can interact with people. And that's why I love sitting here with you. But a lot of people are just watching us sit here with you, you know? And I think if we can interact with those places, and, you know, I think a lot of people would probably say they enjoy word of mouth for various reasons. Yeah. But one of the, like, main reasons people enjoy podcasts is because you're just hearing people's, like, souls, you know, interact with one another, and hopefully in, like, helpful and, you know, streamlined ways. And, I think it would be so cool to offer that in live settings and whatever that looks like. So anyways, this like the overstimulation, oversaturation, that's how I kind of like respond to it. Is it like, do you notice anything like that in your own work? Like, why do you put things on Instagram? You know, like why is that the medium of choice?
Well, it's funny. I was talking to Myers right before we like were recording just about like how difficult sometimes it is to like make a piece of content and like put it on every short form platform there is, like YouTube Shorts and TikTok and Instagram. And I was doing that when I first started making videos. But I just found that like Instagram, you actually can connect to people that are like around you. And so like a lot of my videos on TikTok, like I've had a few like get a little bit of traction, but like it's from people that I'm never going to meet in my entire life, which
interesting.
Like, thanks for watching my videos, but like there's never going to be an in-person connection.
Sure.
But whenever I was posting on Instagram, like a lot of my followers were just my friends. And so they would see that. I don't know like the inner workings of Instagram's algorithm, but I feel like proximity probably plays a huge role. And like also, I guess a lot of my videos also promote the city of Birmingham.
Yeah.
And so I was like finding that I would post something and then like a lot of people would resonate with it, and I would get messages from people that I don't know saying like, oh, like this is really cool. Like I never thought about seeing our city in this light or this or that. And I just like that is so much more fulfilling to me, like seeing that someone who lives like in Hoover or like in Woodlawn like sees my videos and resonates with it because like they're like my neighbor. Like we share so much in common, and like it's literally someone that I could probably hit up next week and like go hang out with.
Sure. That's really cool.
And so that was just really cool to me, and it just showed like Instagram, like I don't know if they've kind of veered more like less towards the proximity algorithm and like more towards like just make some viral hook.
Sure.
Trying to compete with TikTok. I haven't really posted in a while, so I don't know like what that looks like. But I just think it has a very unique advantage in which like it can connect you with people that like live next door in ways that I don't think other social media platforms can do.
Has that actualized in your life ever? Like if you're first off, have you made a real friend since you've made these videos? And then also like when you're around Birmingham and stuff, do people like say hey to you?
Yeah, it was actually it was really surprising to me just because like I mean a few of my videos got a lot more views than I thought they would, but like I don't have like an insane following or anything. But I remember when I was posting, like especially like around this time last year, like through the summer, like it was almost every day I would go out and somebody would recognize me, which was like pretty cool. But then it was also like pretty crazy. I went to Panda Express in Hoover.
Shout out Panda
Express. Shout out. I have a video about Panda Express. That was one of my first reels.
So good. Yeah, you watched the YouTube video.
Yeah.
I remember that. Yeah.
But I went to that Panda Express and one of the guys recognized me there and gave me an employee discount.
No shit.
And then I went to the one downtown and the same thing happened and I was like,
that's crazy.
Dude, I'm eating at Panda Express for the rest of my life.
That's sick. You should probably go to restaurants where people like sit in the back and don't do anything because then they're more likely to have seen your reel.
Yeah, because they're like just doom scrolling.
The better the fast food restaurant, the more busy they are, the less likely you are to get a discount.
Just go somewhere that's dead.
Go to like freaking rallies, you'll for sure
get it. For sure. But yeah, like I'm trying to think of like it's been a while because like once again I haven't posted, but there's been some really cool instances where people will just come up to me in person. Like at Seeds, there was a guy that came up to me. He works for like Hoover's economic development and was like, dude, I saw your like City of Neighborly Love video. I actually pitched that idea in one of our like board meetings and like as a social media strategy in which like you're promoting our city and like wanting to bring about change and like we thought that was really cool and I just want to let you know. And I was like, that's crazy.
No way. Wow.
And there's been like so many other small things like that. And I was just like incredibly grateful for it because I'm just sharing like I think I made that Birmingham video for like an Instagram film festival that another creator was having. And like the prompt was make a story about your hometown. And so I made that video. And I remember I was telling Brian Johnson, the guy that owns the studio I work for, and he's also kind of like a mentor, but I was telling him like, oh, I don't think this video is going to get any views. Like I put a lot of work into it, but it's 1:30 long. It's not very like engaging. And like, that was one of like the biggest videos I've made. So that's I just think that alone, like just seeing how much that's resonated with people. And like, I even met someone the other day, on a video shoot, like he was working audio and he's like, yeah, so what do you do? And I was like, oh, I make Instagram videos and stuff. And, Chris Todd was there and he's like, yeah, like you made this video. And the guy's like, yeah, I saw that. And like, he lives all the way out in Gadsden. And,
no way.
I was like, that's crazy. So
that's nuts, man.
I don't know. It's just so fulfilling whenever you meet people in person that actually see your work. Like, I'm not just posting things into the void with like, you know, faceless usernames. Like these are real people.
Yeah.
I think that adds like an extra weight to making work, but it makes it really fulfilling. So I'm grateful that.
Yeah, I think that's like one of the things that I'm like most proud about this podcast specifically is like the dialogue that we have about this. I would say is like pretty highly like thoughtful. I think would probably be a good word of just like we think about like or like critically thoughtful like and because a lot of people probably just like get on Instagram because it's fun and that's about it, you know, or they probably like maybe every once in a while they'll just be like, oh, like I have to do a Sunday reset, which is also just an Instagram brain. But I feel like the fact that we're here even chatting about this and we're offering that dialogue to the world and like hundreds of people every single week are like listening to it and therefore or at least whenever I listen to a podcast I'm like 100%. I forget there's like a term for it. I'm like a celebrator. So like I just like when I see great things in other people, I just like directly copy them into my own life. And like almost verbatim, like I probably plagiarized a lot in my life by accident. But I think that, you know, if I were to listen to a podcast of some dudes in Birmingham chatting about this kind of stuff, they're like young and especially like, I mean, if anybody's at this point in the video and like if this isn't clear, Dylane's like a stupid successful Instagram guy. That's why he's here right now. He hasn't really flexed it.
Yeah, I did go look through your profile and I think you might have more than 1 million views across all your videos on Instagram.
Are you serious?
You had the one that had like over 500,000 views.
Oh
and
yeah,
another one over 300,000.
Yeah,
and then several in like the 10s, 20s, 30s, like
and like
tens
if
of thousands. Of
Dylane was from L.A. and he made his content about L.A., he would be like ridiculously famous at this point.
Yeah,
but he's from Birmingham and he makes his stuff like super honestly about Birmingham, and like to make a video about Birmingham, Alabama.
market size is smaller.
The algorithm, like the least sexy city in, like honestly, that could be Birmingham's tagline: the least sexy city in America.
Yeah, I love that.
Like, it's just like it's so freaking cool that like me and Gracie were talking about that video, and I think Birmingham's metro population is like 1.3 million or something like that, and for you to have 550,000 or 600,000 views on that. Me and Gracie were like, literally, he reached everyone who would be interested in this reel.
Yeah.
With this reel, you know? It's like, I don't think anyone else that it would reach in the Birmingham area probably would just be like it's like a 14-year-old. It's like, I'm just trying to go to Pizzitz to play pickleball, you know?
I'm just trying to go to lacrosse practice.
Yeah, they don't care. So anyways, I think it's like really freaking cool what you're doing. So
what's the dream?
Yeah, what's the dream? I love that.
Dude, the dream changes a lot, you know, like, I mean, I'm just so grateful for what I was in my garage. I think this was like yesterday.
Your bedroom?
My bedroom.
Your studio flat.
I think it was like, my super luxurious.
Is there like low-key a little part of that's motivated by Casey and
Oh, 100%. 100%. I've always wanted my own like creative space in which like I can fully customize it, and like it might look grungy, it might look like,
sure,
but it's mine.
Okay. Sorry, I'm going to interrupt for 2 seconds. Yeah. Brian Johnson's studio is absolutely absurd.
Yeah, I'm spoiled there.
I'm also curious, have you ever thought about getting a studio at Phoenix Lofts or whatever it's called? How hard is that?
We have to get through Kim, and Kim's great. I have a great relationship with Kim. I don't think Kim would be watching this. Maybe she would be. I don't know. But, Kim's awesome.
Is that like the leasing agent or something?
Yeah,
like that?
she's the manager of the building. But I'm on her good side, so it might be a little bit easy. I don't know. You have to apply. I can get on the waiting list.
Yeah.
I've thought about it, but I've also thought I already have a space there with Brian. But it's mainly residential, so I could live there. I don't know. May 31st is coming up. That's when my lease ends with the boys, so I got to figure out something.
If anybody here doesn't know what the Phoenix Lofts are, because isn't that what they're called? The Phoenix
Art Lofts.
Also, for being on the inside of this, do y'all want people to know what the Phoenix Lofts are, or do y'all like it being a secret? Yeah, because it kind of feels like a gate-kept area, because it's like legit probably the coolest thing that's going on in downtown.
Oh, it's so sick. No, let the people know.
Okay, so over by Roots and Revelry, if anybody's ever eaten there, I kind of forgot Roots and Revelry existed until I just said that out loud.
Yeah.
Or if anyone's ever been it's kind of near the Alabama Theater. Anyways, what I'm trying to say is there's this building full of lofts, and you can rent, or you can rent to live, or rent to work, or you can do both in your studio, which is really hard to do in downtown Birmingham. But it's specifically, this building is reserved for artists. You have to be an artist to live in this building. And because of that, the rent is super, super cheap.
Yeah.
And it is they are genuinely the if you're into the exposed brick, huge window kind of downtown loft thing, it is the prettiest building I've ever been through. But it's not you go to other apartment buildings and the stairwells are polished and the elevators work and there's a gym.
You're gonna have dog pee on the ground, and then
outside the hallways, nothing in the building is kept up at all. No. But the stairwell, you can you have free range
graffiti and
to
stuff,
graffiti or do any art on I think any wall on the whole building. So I think it's freaking cool. It kind of reminds me of a Paris or a Budapest type place where art is just freaking everywhere.
Dude, I love.
But anyways, sorry. I just wanted to talk about the studio for a second.
No, it's cool. I'm so spoiled working there. I kind of love how grungy it is in the hallways, because anytime I have a client or something come up, or a friend, they'll be okay, this is cool. And, the elevator starts shaking, and they're have no clue what to expect. And then we walk into, have you been to Brian's studio? Okay, we'll have to make that happen.
I've heard so many good things.
Dang, man, we should have recorded there.
Yeah, man, honestly.
Welcome to our studio.
I was gonna say we'll try and get Brian on.
Y'all have way better couches than Brian. No offense, Brian.
No offense. Hey, honestly, Brian, I'm talking to my editor, third person through the camera right now. Brian, when you're listening to this, because I know you will, because you love Dylane, I just want you to know that we want to have you on as well. Yeah. I haven't hung out with him and probably since I took my headshot in. No, he wasn't at Maddie's engagement party. Did you not go to Maddie and Mitch's engagement party? Mm-mm. Okay, sorry, I keep interrupting you. Keep going.
I'll get with our booking agent and he'll reach out to Brian.
Miles.
Yeah.
Oh, Miles. Yeah, but
the dream.
The dream. Dude, I don't know. It's just like I'm like just baffled by that I just get to make videos and like, I mean, I don't make much. I don't really make any money making my own videos now, but just like even freelancing alone, it's just such a cool. Like I love just the medium of storytelling through video, and like the fact that I get to do that for other people as well as myself is just like
really cool.
It's like kind of already the dream a little bit.
Yeah.
And I think there's just like also like a weight to social media and like using video as a means of storytelling because I don't know, I've been influenced. I think so much of my thinking and so much of who I am is influenced by like YouTubers and people online, and there's just like an ability to like capture someone's heart or like affect someone through video that like no other form of expression really has, like and the same like up to the same scale, I guess. I don't know. I just think with that, there's like there's a big responsibility that like video makers I think should have. And like, even for myself, I've had to kind of pump the brakes a little bit just because, I don't know. I just like want to recognize like that's a really cool gift. And like, I want to be like a good steward of that and also like try new things, you know, like I think sometimes it's easy to kind of have like a scarcity mindset when it comes to making content. Like, oh, like I have to have everybody's attention at all times. Like I think that's really real. I think after I stopped making stuff and like you kind of stop getting the likes and the comments and the dopamine hits of like engagement, like because my work is so tied to like my name, like I literally just it's my name on my Instagram account. I think I can create some like unhealthy habits in my thinking, and so I don't know, I just like want to operate like there's no rush to like be somebody or get X amount of views. Like I think I've had that thought in my head for a while, but I don't know, like there's been so much that's happened without me even like planning to do so that I just need to trust that like if I just keep making cool stuff, like the right people are going to see it, and that's enough for me. Like that's easy to say out loud. Like I want more views half the time, but I don't know. It's a weird game to play, but I don't know. I think it's fun. I don't know. I like it.
Do you think you want to open your own studio at some point and like keep doing freelance type stuff, or do you think you would try and lean more into the like entertainment, storytelling, content creation type?
Yeah, that's a good question. I definitely enjoy the more like storytelling, like whatever comes to my head, like make something. Obviously, you know, if you want to do that full time, you kind of have to have a consistent cash flow. But I don't know. If it's the right client, I love being able to like tell someone else's story. Like with Hope Heals coming up, I'm really excited to make work for them because they have an amazing story, and like I've been impacted by it, and like I know a lot of other people have been too, and so it's really cool to capture that and like use my gifts to like help tell what they're already doing. I don't know, like I don't necessarily like want to scale up a studio and be like this is whatever industries, and like we're gonna, even though there's a lot of guys that are amazing at that, especially in Birmingham, there's so many gifted freelancers and creative studios. I just don't think I'm necessarily wired that way to do that full time. But I would love to, just keep telling stories. I don't know exactly what those stories would be. But yeah, I think I'm leaning more towards that, telling my own stuff. Yeah. But
heck yeah, dude.
Yeah.
That's really freaking cool, man. Yeah, I think that being in the art world, the arts, like dealing with expression as a creator in general has to be exhausting. Yeah. Right?
Or like, what do you like?
Like, you can't, like, to a certain extent, Myers can like turn off at work. Mm-hmm. You know? Do you have like? Is there a world where you can like, or does that apply to you? Maybe I'm wrong about that.
No, yeah.
But I feel like maybe you like working at Brian Johnson's studio and stuff. Maybe you do have projects where you're just like mindlessly like brains off, whatever. Yeah. But I feel like in the art world, your day in and day out, your soul is like you know, exposed or not exposed, but it's like demanded that you have heart in your project, right? Even when you're like editing a photo, it's like, I feel like what people are wanting, I don't know, maybe it's just like skill or something like that. But the other day, I think this is going to be helpful. The other day I was watching one of the Marcus Milioni Minted New York videos, which unreal.
Shout out Sam Snowden,
and
editor.
Oh, I didn't know that. Shout out that guy. You know that guy?
Awesome.
Well, I like comment on all of his stuff, and he likes my messages. He doesn't know me, but I watch his stuff. So shout out.
He's probably
Sam.
like fricks with the Birmingham video. But,
yeah, for sure. He has to.
No, but this guy shows up to their like inventory shoot for their new drop. They just came out. Which I think is so interesting. Like they like work so hard on business and stuff, and like I just think it's interesting that they just dropped their winter stuff, and it's like only by the time it comes in, like it's only going to be cold for like
a week.
Yeah, like 2 more weeks or something like that. And it's not even really like this guy. One of their last video, he was talking about one of their jackets, and he was like, "Yeah, I ran in this in 10 degrees, and it was like amazing." And I was like, "Brother, it's not getting down to 10 again for the rest of the year." Yeah. Anyway, sorry. There's my Marcus Milioni trash talk out of the way. I love those guys. But anyways, so they show up to this inventory shoot, and it's in this like freaking cool New York studio, and the DP or like, is that what the name of the guy who's in charge would be at a photography shoot?
Yeah.
So the DP is,
I think, honestly, I don't really know.
The director of photography. That's what it is on like a like on a film shoot. I'm assuming it's
so
the
confusing.
same thing in a photography shoot. But anyways, so the DP's there, and he's just like sitting there drinking freaking kombucha or something. He like looks cool. But Marcus shows up, and he's just like, dude, like so excited. Like how many objects are you gonna be shooting today? And they're like, oh, like 14. He's like, F yeah. And he just like seemed like in no way like into the art of that day at all. He was just like, they were just like sitting around, and he would like take a picture, and they would just be like, they're so effing sick. Like it was like this weird, like deranged version of it or something like that. I don't know. Maybe I am being like wildly judgmental right now. But I just like,
what are you getting at?
Yes. So this is what I'm trying to say. I think it's so interesting how in photography, what I think it is like it's born out of a desire to like express yourself. Like it's an art form. So whenever people get to it and they just like keep their soul and their heart out of it, it's like it feels
like
strange.
It's just the science part.
Yeah, they're like
it's just the
skill
rule
set.
of thirds.
Yeah, the rule of thirds, composition, depth of field, like ISO. It's like, and so I don't know. I'm just like curious. This is something that I've been thinking about a lot. And I'm just curious, like working at because Brian Johnson does mainly photo, right? Yeah, like working at a photographer's studio. Like, what is like the work-life balance, or like work-life balance in the sense of like, what is it like at work? Like having to bring your heart forward all the time. In your work.
Yeah. Well, I don't technically like work for the studio. I just rent space, and like I'm an independent freelancer outside of it.
Gotcha. I thought you helped Brian with the stuff. I didn't know.
Yeah. Well, no. I interned with him through Sanford last semester, and so I would assist him on shoots. And after I graduated, he was gracious enough to be like, "Hey, dude, I love having you around here. Like, would you want to have a desk here at the studio?" And so I pretty much just rent space there. And
that is so sick. I did not know that was your setup. That is awesome.
It's like, it's amazing. I'm very grateful for that. And like also, there's another guy named Grant Watson who owns 99 Natives, who rents another space in the studio.
Yeah.
And owns a video company, and it's amazing getting to like learn from those guys who, Brian's been doing this for like 22 years, and then Grant's done this for over like 5 and owns his own company. I didn't realize how much harder it was going to be to like sustain like freelance life post grad, because I was just like, oh, I already do freelance like while I'm in school. Like I'll just have X amount of more hours to do so and make my own stuff. But like whenever it's like your main focus every day and like waking up and like having to do admin and getting clients, and like I'm so bad at like pre-production meetings and like screening clients, like asking them the right questions on what video they want to make. I'm just like, oh, I'll make something that looks cool, just trust me. But you can't really say that, it's just somebody that's about trying to pay you. And so
that's funny.
But like just learning from those guys who like are way more seasoned and are like very gracious to be like, hey, like these are the questions that I'll ask like in a pre-production interview with a client or whatever. Like, here's how I do my finances. It's been oh my gosh, it's been so nice getting to learn from them. But
yeah, like trying to figure out how to marry the two.
Yeah,
the more like right brain, left brain type stuff right there.
And I thought I'd be good at it because I like studied econ, but like my brain is so far from that, so far removed from that now that it's like I never even took any of those classes. But I guess like going back to your original question is like separating. Are you kind of talking about like how do I bring like that same energy that I would on a creative project to like client work maybe?
Sure. Yeah. Like the more like boring parts of it.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's hard to do sometimes. Like, I mean, obviously, but it's work. Just because like, I think it's easy to be creative about something that you're passionate about, but sometimes like there are clients in which like the subject matter just like really isn't that interesting sometimes, and like still bringing like your own creative twist or spin to it, like it kind of does, like you have to draw from like your creative reservoirs or whatever, and then after I'm done doing that project, like I kind of have no energy to do my own later. And so I don't know, like I've found the necessity to have like random hobbies that are separated from videography, because like that's just become the only thing I'm doing. Like I think it was really easy to approach a video because I was in class for X amount of hours a day and like had church things with the college ministry. But like now I just like wake up and I'm like, okay, time to shoot something. I don't know what.
Yeah. And
it kind of just burns you out mentally. So
post grad,
man, adulthood. So I've been trying to skateboard lately.
Come on.
And yeah, it's like that Schaefer Nickel dude that I was talking about earlier on YouTube. Like that's his like outlet. And I was like, that's so sick. If I lived in Colorado and like had a cool skate park, but I mean, I'd skate all the time. And I was like, wow, I wish Birmingham had something cool like that. And then I forget, we literally have like one of the world's like nicest.
Insanely good skate park downtown.
It's like almost like not even entry level. It's so
insane. I think it's the like largest square footage wise skate park in all of the Southeast.
Yes. Yeah.
And I was like, I kid you not, for like 2 weeks straight, I was like bummed out, like, oh, this dude skates all the time. Like, I have nothing to do here. And it was just like one day there was like, I saw City Walk posts like some skating clip, and I'm like, I'm an idiot. Like I go by City Walk. I ride my bike a lot, and so I ride by City Walk, and I just forgot like I could just do that.
Yeah.
And so
that's funny.
How busy is that park? Do you go like often?
I've gone like 5 times over the past 2 weeks.
Oh, cool.
But it gets really busy at night. And then like on the weekends, but if you go like before 3 o'clock, there's not a soul there.
Nobody.
And that's when I go because I'm like,
I was
so
like,
bad.
Trying to feel it out. Yeah, that's when I'll go.
It's like thankfully because
we keep.
We'll
make it more organic.
Okay. I kind of just outed y'all.
I was trying to be subtle about Steven needs to leave in a few minutes.
Oh, jeez.
Producer saying 5.
No, dude. That'll be our natural organic end. But no, Dylane, it's been like genuinely so awesome having you on. And like, I genuinely think that you probably inspired this podcast to happen, and you inspire so many people more than you probably understand. Because at the end of the day, like everybody's just sitting around wanting to do stuff. Like we talk about this all the time on the podcast. Like everybody's sitting around wanting to do stuff. They have ideas, and then like as soon as they like think about actually doing it, they just get so afraid of being like, or they get insecure, like fear of failure, and or like fear that it won't be accepted or whatever. But you know, you have like pushed through that, and I feel like that's really, really cool, man. And it's been cool to pick your brain about like what the intricacies of that are.
Yeah.
This afternoon, but yeah, man, I'm honored to have you on, and I'm like really grateful for you.
Dang, man, honored to be here. I appreciate that. Yeah, man. Super kind.
Receive the affirmation.
Yeah,
hold
dude,
that.
It's here.
That's right, man.
With me for life.
Here's your flowers.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
No, dude, really grateful for you. Really grateful that you get to go home and play some Fortnite tonight.
Oh yeah,
come on.
Dude, zero builds. OG.
Yeah, essentially, I'm even viewing this podcast of kind of robbing you of time to land.
We're taking away from Fortnite.
Tilted Towers is calling. Oh man.
Thanks, Dylane.
Cool. Yeah, thank you.
Cheerio. Any last words? Any shameless plugs?
Shameless plug. Be tuned in to the Instagram for YouTube updates.
Okay.
Sometime soon. I guess I didn't really talk about anything of the video, so I'll just keep it mysterious, and I don't know.
People
Be on
can
the
go
lookout.
watch it to figure out.
I think it'll be cool. There'll be some Birmingham features in it. It's not about Birmingham, but Birmingham's a backdrop of a lot of the video. So
Let's go.
there's that.
Come on, man.
Yeah, if you like the fourth dimension, you'll like this video. That's the only thing I can
Oh,
say.
wow.
So, yeah, there's that.
4D Dylane.
4D.
Coming soon.
Who's got 2 thumbs and likes the fourth dimension? This guy.
There it is.
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in today.
All
Word of
right.
mouth. Cheers, mate.
Peace.
Welcome to the secret segment, where
Psych.
we talk about secret things you've waited till now to listen to. All right, we're here live with Dylane Hurd. I have to leave in 4 minutes.
Speed round.
Speed round.
Wait, what? This is such a switch up. I feel like I should sit up for this.
Secret segment. Okay, so right now, if you had to tell a secret, what would you say?
Oh gosh. A secret. Okay, this is actually kind of crazy. So the other day, this isn't really a secret about me. It's not a secret about anybody I know too. It's just like Nick and I were playing Fortnite the other day, and we get a knock on our door, and this lady pulls up, and she pulls out a bat, and she's like, "Hey, I'm with the Department of Defense. I'm gonna ask you a few questions about your neighbor." And we were like,
Whoa.
"What?" I was like, "Nick, answer the door," and I just felt like it'd be weird if I just walked up and like eavesdropped. So I was just listening, and she was like, "Yeah, like, are you familiar with your neighbors across the street? Like, what can you tell me about them?" And Nick's like, I don't really know. They're out late, messing with their trash can at 3 a.m. and like they just walk around in their backyard like in the middle of the night. I don't know much about them. I think they're like a Vietnamese family. They're older and they're just only up past midnight. That's literally it.
Whoa.
And she was like, "Okay, like thanks for cooperating," or like whatever, and then just leaves. And then Nick actually texted me right before this, and he's like, "There's like a police car just stationed in their driveway, like, and it's been there all day." So.
That's crazy.
I wish I had more information, but like we're
What
all
a
so
freaking
curious.
cliffhanger, dude.
Yeah.
Goodness gracious.
YouTube video coming soon.
Yeah, exactly.
My neighbor got arrested by the
Bluff Park.
Yeah.
FBI.
we looked up, like, there's
NCIS.
not a Department of Defense for the state, so it has to be federal. Or
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I was gonna say Department of Defense is a federal branch
Yeah.
of government. That's
So-
not Alabama Bluff Park local
Yeah,
sheriff.
hey,
That's-
man, if it was, they'd get trapped done.
yeah, they would. So y'all might not see me after this podcast after releasing that information, but that's
The Vietnamese people will come
that was a
for
great
Yeah.
secret.
you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing.
yeah, for sure.
Wow. Myers, you got a secret?
I thought you were turning it
Music
off.
domes.
I'm interviewing John Porterfield
Oh yeah,
next
JP.
week.
Wow.
Senior or junior.
Junior.
Yeah, not JP3, but his dad.
Yeah.
JP3.
yeah.
So, spoiler alert for next podcast episode, I guess.
Wow.
Find out what happens.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Is JP a listener?
I don't know. We actually interviewed Natalie the other day with my little sister.
Oh.
So, he
Dude, I
might
got-
be.
Cool.
I got
see.
a pretty gnarly secret. This morning at Run Club, I was on a run with like 12 guys, 13 guys. I had a little fart, trusted the fart,
Uh-oh.
pooped a little. That happened this morning.
Dang. How
There's
far
my-
into the run?
Dude, I don't know. I feel like running for me lately, it's just been like the brain turns off, which is awesome in a lot of ways, but not in the fart
Not
sector.
the clinching.
I ran almost 7 on Sunday
Yeah.
and had to poop for probably the whole time.
Oh man.
And I ended up with a 9.5 minute average pace, and I think it was because I was trying to get home so I could
Dang. Wait, did you already run the marathon?
That's
and
Sunday.
half? Oh,
This weekend.
Week
Yeah.
from
Dang.
6 days from now. Yeah. But he's running the full. I'm running the half.
Yeah.
But
Y'all feeling good?
That was
That's
how
good.
Dylane ended up on here, kind of.
Yeah, honestly.
Me and
Legit.
Steven were running and ran past Dylane riding a bike.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean,
Here we are.
I don't know. Like I'm not gonna run fast at all. Like I'm just
I'm just
gonna
trying to
have fun
finish.
with it. I mean, Myers is at a point where I think Myers could run 9 minute the whole time and kill it. But I mean, with like some breaks here and there, like the I don't know. There's all this strat to marathon. As there is with anything, it's just the hole just gets deeper. You just like you learn more and more strat, whatever. But for me, like ever since the flu, like my zone 2 heart rate is like
1 billion.
I mean, my zone 2 heart rate pace is like, zone 2 translation is healthy heart rate.
Okay, I'm glad you translated because I was like, I don't know what that.
Yeah, healthy heart rate where you don't feel like you're dying.
Okay.
And on a good day, if I like have been training well, I could push zone 3 the entire time. Like I think Myers could do zone 3 the entire time. Besides, like I don't know, a break every 6 miles or something like that. But for me, like I don't think I could. Like I'm gonna try and like go super chill for the first half, like 6 or 7 miles, and then push for the last 10K, and then really push the last mile. But I don't know. I'm just trying to run 2 hours for the half, and Myers will probably. You think you'll break 4? I think you'll break 4.
I don't know. I'm not really aiming for a time. I just kind of want to finish because it's my first race.
Like on Sunday, Gracie and I went out, or Valentine's Day on Friday, Gracie and I went out and ran. Gracie runs a 12:30 pace, which is pretty freaking chill for me. And we went out and ran 5 miles. I think she ran 6 and I ran 5. And I had to poop. I actually came here to this house to poop mid-run. Nice. But it was like the most delightful run. I also like at a 12:30 pace, my BPM, my heart rate was like 120, which is super chill. Like I probably get 120 BPMs when I poop, since I'm talking about poop so much.
That's a theme right now.
Yeah, but anyways, I think that I genuinely was able to like fully conversate. Like I feel like when Myers and I run, like it's kind of like and when the like you're constantly kind of like gasping, and you can do it. But whenever I was with Gracie, I was talking exactly as I'm talking right now. And she was like, yeah, and I think when we, and me, like, she was kind of this hyperventilation kind of vibe, but it was pretty fun to do that. So I might freak around, run a 12-minute pace the whole time. Just like chill.
I respect it. The furthest I've ran was a 5K, and this was 2 years ago. And I think I've run like a 5K on my own before, but this is like the only race I've done. And I probably ran at like an 11, maybe 12-minute pace, and thought I was going to die the entire time.
Yeah. Dude, you got to build that aerobic base.
Yeah.
Anaerobic base, whatever it's called.
Is it like VO2 max or whatever that thing is?
Yeah.
I don't know. I was looking up TikToks.
Those two things are the same thing. VO2 max and anaerobic floor.
Oh, some
over time, you just like, it just gets lower. It's your heart's ability to operate at a high level for like lengths of time.
Okay.
So it's your heart's ability to work oxygen efficiently.
Yeah.
So really, I mean, I'm probably not the best person to talk to. I just know it a little bit. But Cameron, my buddy who lives in North Carolina, he'll be on the pod here in a few weeks. There's another secret segment.
Yeah.
He is like so into it. He's running in April in Nashville marathon, and he's trying to run like a 2:15. Or sorry, not a 2:15, a 3:15. Which is,
I mean, still that's
for full
crazy.
Fast.
Yeah. If you break a 3:30 marathon, if you break a 2:30 marathon, you're in the 1%. If you break a 3:30 marathon, I think you're in the top 5% of marathon runners. Which is crazy.
And only like 1% of people complete marathons. Is that true?
Yeah, 1%.
Let's go.
So Myers is
He
gonna
watched
be in
the Casey Neistat video.
What? Right. Who's Casey Neistat?
Never heard of him.
Shout out Joe Greer. Shout out Marcus Miriglione.
Still moving. Shout out
all of them.
Eric Floberg, who filmed that.
Shout out Schaefer Nickel.
Shout out Schaefer Nickel for real.
I'm trying to watch him
He's
stuff.
the
You
goat.
have to share that
He's
with me.
the GOAT.
All right, guys, we're going to finish this now. Love you guys. Dylane Hurd, everybody. Whoa! Thanks for being on, Dylane.
Applause.
Oh.
Let's go. Bang. That's fun.
I know I have like a headset.